Good evening and a very warm welcome. Well, I was going to say very warm, it's a bit chilly, but you can't have everything, can you? Right, we've done the amplifier. The amplifier's been tested and it works absolutely fine. So what we're going to do next, we're going to I'm not going to remove the deck from the motorboard, there's no point. Really it's just oiling it really, because there's not a lot to do with this deck. It's absolutely working absolutely perfectly. So we'll get the stuff down for doing it, but we're not going to be doing we're just going to oil the pivot points, clean the idler, and where's my glasses? So I'll see where I'm putting the oil. Put it back together, folks. That's all we can do with it, because this mechanism is working absolutely A1. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not stiff or stuck or anything. So what we'll do, we'll just go around. I hate this dirty big oil can. I like my little one, but I can't find it. There we go. And just everywhere gets a little drink. All the pivot points, all the stuff that's supposed to be oiled. Oh, there we go. I mean, there's no bad grease on this or anything. I mean, it's amazingly clean. I can't believe how clean this thing is. A bit of oil down there in the oil way for the motor. There we are. That didn't look like it went, but it did. Let's get a bit of grease. Don't need a lot in here, it's actually quite well done. Give that a bit of a work up and down until look how smooth everything is. I mean, there's no way I'm stripping this. Just put that bit of fluff out, there we go. There's no way I'm stripping this. I mean, there's no point if you don't have to. I mean, get a bit of grease into the speed mechanism there. I mean, why make life harder for yourself? You know, if you don't have to. I mean, that's just stupid. You know, just ridiculous, that making more work. Just mop that up a bit, there we go, get a bit over there, there we go. Right. Shift the oil for a minute. Right. Just get the moving wires out of the way. Get to the bearings. There we are. I mean, you don't have to pack these, just give them a light greasing, because they're not in a race anyway. They're just like in a like Paxilin bearing carrier. So You know, all this is super smooth. I mean, it's not like me to skimp, but in all honesty, folks, I'm not doing what I don't have to do because it just means more work and for no reason. You know, at the end of the day, this thing will work absolutely beautifully, and for many years, because you know, it's this record player, to be honest, it's actually very, very clean to begin with. Sorry I'm a bit late on tonight. I fell asleep in the front room after my tea. Now we'll clean the idler, because the idler in this is amazing as well. I mean, the whole thing is, I mean, this is there's no hard spots on the idler or anything. It's really, really good. All the dirt off. There we go. Just clean the motor pulley, and that's even spotless, that motor pulley. There's nothing on it. I mean, look at that. That bit there came off the idler when I tried it. The only thing I can think of that's going to be wrong with this. The only thing I can think of that'll be wrong with this. The cartridge will be dead. Right, let's get the. I did actually find the clip off the turntable last night, but I can't remember where I put it. But we've got it somewhere. This morning, sorry, because I found it in the inside. I might have threw it in here with the rest of the stuff. Yeah, it's there. Here we go. Get the IPA away. Yeah, I'm a bit late tonight, folks. A bit late, I'm afraid. Oh, never mind. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Put that out of the way. We think the cartridge is knackered, but we'll find that out when we turn it on. But it didn't get much out of it last time. But we've got one here. We've got a BSR one we can put in. No problem. Right. Let's just clean. Bring that cotton bud back and just clean the drive drum of the turntable. There we go. I mean, look at that mat. That mat is even super clean and still in good nick. So turn that on. There we go. Give it a spin. There, look at that. That's perfect. Let's put it on the speed. Not much grip there yet, but once it's on, if I have to unclean the idler once it's in there. Yeah, I'll be able to clean the idler once it's in there. Yeah, this is the RC120 Mark II, by the way, by Garrard. This mechanism. Yeah, that could do with a bit of a clean. Let's give that a bit of a wipe. That'll do. That could do with a polish up later. But this will all be polished up once it's back in the machine. But this is back in the record player. See, I can't believe the quality of this record player in the first place. I mean, everything inside the wood, everything, it all looks like new. I mean, doesn't look a day old, you know. None of it looks a day old. It's uncanny. I mean, look at the inside. All looks like brand new wood. Looks like this case was made yesterday. So wherever this has been, we've got a brand new power cord on it. Well, not brand new, but it's a period correct one. Get that behind there if I can. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And get that. There we go. There. That won't pull through there now. And that should just, I might have to widen that a bit there to get the lid down. Or put another groove in the lid. Because it's a different cord. But, oh. Let's put our, the amplifier was already working, it just needed a bloody good service, to be honest with you. Let's turn the soldering iron on. Yeah, there was not wrong with the amp. A good service wouldn't bloody cure. That's all that was wrong with it. We've got a capacitor there, that's not been soldered on terribly well. So we'll redo that. Why they felt the need to put a capacitor in there is anybody's guess, but it's in there, so we'll leave it for now. I mean, you can't see what I'm looking at, but all I'm doing is putting wires on. While I'm doing that, I can be putting the pardon me, bring that out a bit. Right, we can connect the motor board up. I mean, look at this, it's even easier to do it this way. Right. Blimey. That's got it. I didn't want to go, but it's gone. We've done it. There we go. Let's take that old elastic out. There we go. Because it's only going to fall off eventually and end up in there. I thought these wires were actually laid to repairs, but they're not. This is original. Right. Screwdriver. Pick the washers so I can get the wires behind them. Be careful when you're doing this so that you don't damage the connector. You put the wires in, making sure that all the wire is in. We just tighten it down like they do in Germany. Get it good and tight. There we go. Do it to German spec. Good and tight. Right. This is. Now we want to solder our resistor, our capacitor back into place. Hang on. Make sure our pliers don't hit the floor. There we go. Not got anybody saying hello yet. Somebody will. Trouble is, somebody will do it right near the end of the video when I'm thinking about going. There we go. That's a proper job. That's a proper one. That's how it should have been done. That was the only criticism really, that one capacitor that I felt could have been done a little better. But why grumble? To be honest with you, this record player is one of the nicest I've ever done. Solder our input wire for the cartridge back on. Let's just tin this one up here. But yeah, this is one of the nicest. I mean, there's no detritus, corrosion or anything. I mean, it's what more can a guy ask for? You know? What more can you want? I mean, usually they're full of dead spiders, dead everything, dead components. This thing, not the case. There we go, that'll do. Put the cover back on for the wires. Cover back on for the wires, push that back up to there. Replace the nut. Just give it a slow, give it a quick nip up, not too much, only a little bit. That'll do with the driver, the socket driver. Now, I've put the inspection panel back in because you can do that with this one, I believe. Right, might have a problem. There we go. Ooh, I thought I was going to have a problem getting that in. Well, I haven't. I thought it was going to pinch like hell down the mains cable, but no. Right, I finally found a clamp for the capacitor. So we got that done. That's done and it's safe. I'm not going to put the screws in it yet. What we're going to do now, we're going to try the mechanism. I don't expect this idler to be good first time out, but that can be done with the deck in place, so it's no great problem. So what we'll do, we'll turn that on, that on. Let's turn this on. Might have to give that a clean, that idler. Bit of a crackle there, that'll wear off as it was used. Yeah, the cartridge is dead. I wonder how you get into this one to get the goddamn cartridge out. Feels heavy that as well. Test the mechanism. I've got a feeling it'll stall. Thought it would, because it needs the idler doing. Right. I'll let that run for a bit. Because look at, you can stop that with your hand. But we'll address that. We'll just let it run for a minute. And what I want to do, I want to look at the, just turn it off. Look at the cartridge. And I think the way that these come out, the way you get these out, let's unplug that, lift the motorboard back up, there we go. We can see more with it like that. Yeah, basically what we've got to do, trying to think how these, because these, there it is, it's a little screw there, couldn't see it, but they come out like that. You undo that little screw, I think you undo it all the way out. Right. Don't want to lose the screw, so I'm being careful when I undo it. Don't want it just falling out. It's a tiny screw. Take that out of there. There we go. A little screw there. Take off all these bits. Then take out our pretty much knackered pickle cartridge, and then we'll work out how we're going to get a new one in there. Seems a shame to disturb that, doesn't it? Put it all nicely sealed and everything. This has never been off since it was put in all them years ago. Look at that, lovely. Right, we can also check now that we're getting input up to the arm. So what we'll do, I should have left that on. What we can do now, we can clip this. Them pins are bent on that. Do you know, I lent this cartridge to Mildred and that's how I got it back. Bent pins. Let's turn it up. Yeah. Yeah. All the controls work. Right. Next job. Let's have a look about fitting this. Because to be honest with you, all that disappears into there, and that's no good. That is no good at all. So that does not fit. So we're going to have to work out how to fit it. In the meantime, so we don't lose any of this, put all this back together into the manner in which you become accustomed. Because I save these, all these old cartridges. I save these because you never know. You might get a really good one that's working perfectly. And you might have bits missing. So that'll go into my cartridge bits. Put this one up here for a minute. And we need to find, I have got some hardware to enable that to be used, but this, I don't think there's any nuts in there. I think you have to take the, I don't think there's any nuts in there for cartridge hardware. I'll have to try and find some. And this is where I want my other box again, but that's got all my big cartridge bits in that I can't find. This is where certain things that you need, you can't find them. This is a bit of a nuisance. When you're looking for stuff that you know you've got. But you can't find. Now, let's get into these drawers here, because this is where this is a cartridge box here, but this hasn't got them in. That I know for a fact. Come on. Right, this has got a few bits in, but not everything. And I don't think there's anything in here. No, there's nothing in there I can use. I have got another box and it's... Let's put that on there a minute. I've got another box, I just don't know where it is. Cotton buds. Plenty of those. Let's see if it's at the back here. There it is. There's my other box. Now this one's got, this is all magnetic cartridges in that one. So that's no good. So that was a waste of time on it. It's all magnetic cartridges in that. So there's no point in me rooting through there because I know there's nothing I can use. So put that all that back. There's nothing in there for me. Oh, Jesus. Frosty. Now, let me have a look. Well, we can turn the soldering iron off. See what I've got in this drawer here, because I have got miscellaneous stuff. Only not in that one. I'll tell you what I wish. Put that there for a minute. I actually wish that I could just go and buy a new bloody cartridge, the same type, just chuck it in. That is what I wish, but right, we've got a cartridge screw in there and a nut if we need it. So a bit of cartridge hardware there. There's something else we can probably use if we need to, but I'd rather not. But we do these things if we have to do it. We've got another one of them there. That's the mono version. So if we have to break one of them up to use that, then we'll do that, but rather not. There's another cartridge there. That's a magnetic one, but right, well, what we want ain't in there. So we'll look through this one here. Radio aerial. Don't want any aerials, not at this point in the game. I have got loads of bits somewhere, I just can't think where they are. Loads of cartridge bits. But I know I'd just throw off bits in here. There's bits. Because these all came out of the drawers when I sorted the drawers out. At least the record player is working now anyway. Just nice to get a record on it, wouldn't it? Look at that lot there, all the screws stuck onto that sewing needle. A magnet, sorry. I mean, we've got I know what it is I'm looking for. I know what I'm looking for. I just can't bloody find it. I'm looking for a little plastic BSR thing that cartridge can screw to. And there's another bit of a cartridge there. There's bits of cartridges everywhere, but the actual bit that I want, what I actually need, doesn't seem to be here. What I'm actually looking for doesn't seem to be here, so don't think this is going to solve my problem somewhat. Right, put this crap back in here. Because that doesn't solve the problem. That doesn't sort it out. I mean, I could probably jump on the net and buy a cartridge, but I'd rather not, because I've got a cartridge. I'll keep that out because I might use the top off that and turn it into a clip of some description, because that is a real possibility. I've checked that, there's not nothing in that I can use. What we'll do, we'll put that on the top of there so we don't do nothing ends up on the floor. Needs tidying up down there again. There's also trying to think. See, there was a few bits in there, but I scraped them all off and put them away, and I can't remember where I put them. Can't remember, but I put them away. That's no good if I can't freaking remember, is it? I think what I might have to do is buy a cartridge. Yeah, I might have to just get a cartridge, I think. Oh dearie me. Which is a shame. Because I thought there was stuff here, but I thought there was one in here, but there's not. So, I mean, this bench was all cleared behind here, so I know there's nothing behind there. There's now down there on the floor that's fell off onto the floor because trying to think. I'm trying to think. Do you know, it's always the way when you want something, isn't it? You can never find it or remember where. Never remember quite where you put it. I'm not digging everything out now, I can't be bothered. But the annoying part about it is, if I go on and buy a cartridge, you can bet your bottom dollar I'll find everything I need to put that one in. So, yeah, we've got a cartridge. What's this thing here? We've got another one there which we could use, possibly. Got a cartridge clip there. Another cartridge here, is that one any good? Well, that's a different mounting. And it's got a pin, oh it has got pins in it. In the back of it, some of them don't have pins in them. Pins are built onto the lead. Some of these cartridges. There's a couple of cartridge bits in here, but not what I want. There's a full thigh, broken leg off it. Well, what I'm looking for is not in there. That's not what I want. I can't use that because there's no styluses in it. And I don't think you get the styluses for that one. Be very surprised if they were available. I'll have to just pop on the net and see if I can afford one. Because I'd like to get it done. I don't want it sat around doing nothing. I don't want it sat around for ages. Let's just have a look in here. Have a look at this little tub here. Don't think there'll be one in that. It's worth a look. No, there's not one in that. I didn't think there would be. I'll put that back. We'll put that up there out of the way. Right, so what we're going to do, just quickly pop on a net and see if I can find one. What's all this junk down here though? I mean, I don't really want to do it in case, because I know for a fact after I purchase one I'll be able to find the stuff I need. And I'm not going to get it tonight anyway, right now. That arm was designed to take a certain cartridge. So I think you have to make a modification anyway. I think you have to make a modification to it anyway for it to work, but I can't remember. Let's minimise that for a minute. Get rid of that. Let's go back on, let's go on to eBay. Google. Just see if I can find one at a reasonable price. eBay. Pick up cartridge. Let's put in BSR cartridge. BSR BSR cartridge. The 12 quid there for an SC12H. Got a couple of them. Vintage BSR TC8S, that's a stereo version. It should be a stereo version if it's marked with an S. Yeah, TC8S stereo. Because the S stands for stereo. We'll do an SC12H cartridge clip. Genuine BSR X5M. I've actually got one of them. but I haven't got the clip for it. I've got one of those. 29 for a card for a 29 quid for an LBSR full 5 cartridge. I'll tell you what, they know how to shaft you, don't they, on here? They know how to nail your hat on. £12.90 for a cartridge clip for the Crosley, and the cartridge, you get the cartridge with it as well. I mean, they know how to shaft you on here, that's made no mistake. 47 quid for a run-out replica, which is a crap one, because they're made out of all plastic. They did do a metal one of them at one time. £61 for a cartridge adapter for an SC12M. New old stock medium output stereo ceramic cartridge. Didn't know how to put £23. Do you know, you could buy them from the shops back in the 90s. In the 80s even, 74 quid for one there. Jesus. I won't be paying that, I can assure you. Nowhere near it. No, I won't be paying that. I think the most I'll be going for what I might go for. But I want to put one in that has a 78 RPM stylus. I'm gonna sit and think on it, because I'm not paying any kind of prices. That's never gonna happen. What's this one here? SC7M1. Yeah, SC7M1 ST plus ST20 stylus. Buy it now, 12 quid. Is it a brand new one? Looks it. Looks new, but you can't tell, can you? I mean, that's worth 12 quid if it's brand new. If that's new, it's worth the money, but you can't tell. There's one there, 29 quid. X5M new BSR replacement. Mono BSR replacement cartridge, no stylus included. So someone's had the stylus, which means it's probably not new. So you just don't buy them when they're like that, because you know someone's had the stylus. Replacement cartridge for Crosley record player, gramophone, turntable, BSR new, really. Now when you see them like that, you don't buy them. That there for £12, but they want £3 postage as well. That's what ruins it, really. You know, they want £3 postage as well, which I think is cheeky for a cheap cartridge. Yeah, I think it's cheeky, that. See what we've got here just in general, 14 quid, that's one of those, what do you call it? Well, that might be the way to do it. Because they're a good cartridge, they're not bad. LP flip over stylus, does it come with a clip? If it comes with a clip, it's worth having. Because some don't come with a clip, and that's the problem. I don't mind wiring it up for stereo, wiring the stereo cartridge up for mono. What about postage? 3-day postage, yeah, I could get that within 3 days. That's certainly worth considering, and I could fit that. That's not a problem. So what we'll do, we'll put that in the watch list. Watch this item, yeah, because I don't think you're going to find it cheaper than that. There's another one at 13, but that's a single. That's the red stylus version. Arcos stereo ceramic cartridge. Ceramic mono cartridge. A lot of them, where they appear to be cheap, a lot of them where they appear to be cheap, they make it up in the postage, you know. Well, yeah, here's one here, dance set mono, yeah, 30 quid because they're calling it a dance set. It's got nothing to do with dance set. It does say dance set in there, but they could have put that in the box themselves. I've never seen a cartridge like that in a dance set. And I've seen a few, trust me. 32 quid, 7.50. That's, see, it's, I think I can just run into buying one, but I'd like to do it. Panasonic mono cartridge. The idea is put a stereo one in and wire it for mono. No problem doing that. It'd be nice to have the tone arm wires original though. 28 quid for original cartridges, BSR ones. For over 30 odd years old, and they want 20 odd, they want nearly 30 quid for them. Tell you what, when Dick Turpin robbed the people, at least he put a mask on. I mean, how do these people sleep at night? You know? There's one there. But the problem is it's 10 quid. It's free 3-day postage, but the problem is you don't get a clip with it. You can use the clip for the cheap Crosley cartridge, but they want stupid money for them. They want, like, by the time you've bought the clip, which is about 3 or 4 quid, then you bought the cartridge, which is 10 quid. You may as well have bought the damn cartridge with the clip, which is what I'm probably going to do. But I like this thing done because I've got other things that I'd like to do as well. I think I'm fed up of looking through all this lot now. What's this one here? Electro Voice, that's from America. We're into all the American rubbish now. Stuff from China and stuff like that. Now there's two there, 26 quid. And that's pretty good value actually, because they've got, oh no, it's £26 each. That was a bit of a misread there. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to my watch list and I'm just going to buy, I'm just going to get that one. Watch list. There is 14 quid free postage. I'm just going to get that. The reason why I'm going to get that is because it takes an ST16 stylus or ST17, which are plentiful. The stylus you get with them are generally a bit crap, but I've got enough to pay for that because my daughter owed me 20 quid and she paid it me. Hopefully it should still be rested in my bank. Say hopefully. Soon find out. Better be. Yep, on its way. So we'll leave that now till we get that sorted. Should be here by Friday the 12th. Lovely. Waiting for that to come. So look at the chat. Oh wait, there's plenty there. Good evening, Theo. Robert Cross. Good evening, Robert. Right, so that's them two just saying hello to each other. Yeah. Right, so there's nothing I can do with this until we get the cartridge. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it together. I can do the idler. I can do that right now. So we'll just get we'll sort, oh shit, pardon my language. What we'll do, we'll sort the idler out, screw it back together. Get the sandpaper for the idler. I can do the idler while it's on the machine. Ooh. Where's my glasses? With that detergent, I don't need that. So I can drop this. Drop this back in because there's nothing I can do about it, and I need to change them wires there so that we can add 2 more to them, so I can wire it up for stereo, or wire a stereo cartridge up, should I say, for mono. So just turn it off for a second, the plug. Lift this up. Oh shit. I'll lift that. I need it the other way around because I can't do it that way. Put that onto the board there. Stop there we go. We'll actually put the lid on. Didn't take a lot of doing this, it's incredibly in good condition. Needs a bit of the Rexine gluing down on the underside of the lid. We'll sort that out. That's not a problem. So we'll put the lid on. Right. screws for the lid should be in here, and there should be 4 of them. There we go. Get things finished off. I'll come back over to the chat in a minute. Just get these couple of jobs taken care of. Then when the cartridge turns up, this can be done, officially finished. I mean, the amplifier's working really well. I've got a couple of top hats I've got to be glued back on. But I can't believe the quality of this thing. I mean, I won't put the screws back in the motorboard yet, just in case for some reason it has to come out. Can't think why, but won't put them back in just yet. Mind you, I might. See how I feel. Make sure these top screws are tight. I never slacken them, but they are a bit loose. There we go. Do 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 do. Yeah. Turn this back round, and now we can. Oops. Now we can look at the. Gosh, lid goes far out, doesn't it? There we go. This is it's over lift. Now for there we go. I hate it when they're like that, you know, when you just there we go. Put that there for a minute. There we go. Get a piece of sandpaper and just clean the idler. Turn the plug on. Turn that on. Put it on 78. All you do is just clean the top surface off. Warms up fast this as well. I mean, some people say you shouldn't use sandpaper, but what else are you supposed to use? There. Right. I mean, that idler's not got any hard spots on it, so put it in neutral. Makes it easier to. Yeah, there's no hard spots in the idler, so you know, no shiny spots, and there wasn't to start with. So what we'll do is just move that so it drops into place, put it back on, Still not gripping much. It's better than what it was though. Yeah, it's better than what it was. It's getting there. Hang on, there we go. It'll stall when I operate it though. See what I mean? Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, that's... Just pull the turntable back off. There we go. See if we've got any crap on the back of this. Give this a quick rub around. Won't do any harm. There we go. There we go. Let's give this a... I mean, I like to do them in a drill, but... Just clean the crap off, really. You know, I don't see why I should give the pulley a clean just in case. You never know, do you? There we go. Right. There we go. Back in neutral. Try it once more. If that doesn't work tomorrow, I'll get it on the drill. I'm not doing that this time of night. There we go. Well, that's, yeah, that feels better. Still not right though. Yeah, you can still spin it backwards. That'll still stall. I'm going to let it run for a bit. Let's see. It's not as bad. See how it gets over it now. So it gets to there. So it went a bit longer that time. There we go. I'll just let it run for a bit. But there's the... all this works. I think they would be better if they were stuck down, but they're not supposed to. I mean, it's even got the labels still on here, look. I mean... the treble, bass and volume. Yeah, that'll improve. I'll get that sorted tomorrow. I'll let it run for a bit. I'll let it run for a bit and I'll put it on the drill tomorrow if it's not right. And we'll sort it. Right. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I don't like Roberts radios. They make them out to be something they're not really, you know, that they're not, they make them out to be something that they're not really. Never be scared of, hang on a minute, wet me eye. Never be scared of what? Never be scared of valve stuff. Just be ruddy careful and always use an isolation transformer. Well, that's not strictly true. If there's a transformer built in, you don't need an isolation transformer. The only time you need an isolation transformer really is for those that junk that didn't come with a transformer, those AC/DC things that derive the power straight from the mains. It's the only time you need an isolation transformer. Like this thing I've got here, it has an isolation transformer built in, so you don't need them. But, so that's not strictly true, but you know. But people do whatever you feel. I mean, if you feel you need an isolation transformer, you use one. I'm not saying don't. Yeah, this is one I got. Yeah, this is one I got on Sunday. Theo. Yeah, this is one I got. Yes, Sunday. It's turned out to be a good record player. It'll be even better once I get, you know. Well, yeah, I agree with what you say, Theo, but I've never been caught out. That's not to say I won't be, but I'm just saying I never have, so I don't, you know, I don't use them. But that being said, I don't really repair a lot of AC/DC sets. I tend to scrap them. I don't care what they're worth or what people think. I just tend to scrap them. I certainly don't sell them to anybody. When I get them, it's usually the end of the line for them. When they get here, they get pulled. The valves get pulled. If somebody wanted one repairing, that's a different matter. Then that's not my problem. I make it as safe as possible. But I do prefer things that have the isolation transformer, i.e. mains transformer built in. Yeah, it's a nice record player, Theo. And the wood, you know, the wood inside, it looks like new. You can still see with the glue marks where they've glued everything in that needed to be glued. You know, it's wherever this has been, it's been somewhere good. Even the rubber mat is in nice nick. The idler's a bit soft, but I'm hoping I might be able to sort that out tomorrow on the drill press. Get it up to speed and just touch a bit of sandpaper on it. That usually sorts them out. It usually gets them back up and going properly. Because it's going round now, and it would play a record if it had a cartridge in it. I've ordered the cartridge. I've ordered one of them bumper ones, which are basically they look like a cheap Crosley one, but they've got the turnover stylus. This record player is some. Hang on, let me just. Can I? You can see my point there. Yeah. Well, that's it. You know. I don't like selling. I don't like sending out record players or radios that don't have a transformer in them. If anyone ever wants some repairing, I do. fit the mains lead whether they want it or not. It's what they get. It's down to safety. They don't have a choice. If they do, then they go somewhere else. They don't have a choice. The mains lead gets replaced, and he gets replaced with a colour coded one, and the blue always goes to the chassis. And I even try and get leads that have got a moulded plug on them, so they can't be rewired unless you cut the plug off. I have got a couple of transformerless record players knocking about. I'll never sell them. And you know, I think there's 1 or 2 transformerless radios in here as well, and I won't sell those. I just get, you know, I'll just keep them. I mean, the U valves are not much use. U series valves are not much use unless you're going to do a repair or just fit new valves for someone. Then yeah, but to me they're not a lot of use, because most of the stuff I deal with is E series valves. What year is this record player? I'd say, well, it's got an EL84 in it, so it's after 1954, because the EL84 was developed in 1954, so it's 1954 onwards. I'd say about 55, 56, round about then, probably even 57, I'm not sure, but it's 50s anyway. It's mid to late 50s, but it's one of the nicer HMVs. It's, as you can see, it's now sporting a generously long power lead, which has got 3 colours in it. The original lead had 3 conductors, but they weren't colour coded. They are the old colours, red, green and black, but that's not an issue, as I don't mind reusing an old lead as long as that lead is in good condition. It's only when leads are in poor condition I won't reuse them, I'll throw them away. But I do like to actually replace leads if you know, that's the other good thing about having transformers. You can earth them, you know, you can earth them, and you know, you can be safe in the knowledge that you're not going to get a whack off it, because if this was to develop a fault now, it would trip the whole electricity. It would trip the switch at the trip the switch at the consumer unit, so I don't have to worry. I know it's now safe, and I have no problems with anybody using it. The record player is in very good condition, apart from a little bit of Rexine here and there that just needs sticking back in place. All the bright work on it's not bad. I've seen worse, but for its year I can't say I've seen much better, unless you found one that's been kept dry and it's brand new old stock in a box. The next project, you'll all be glad to know, that we'll be getting to is the record recorder, the Pi Record Master. I might have a brief look at that tonight. I also got some stuff off Mike today. I got an oscilloscope and something else. I think it's some sort of power supply, I'm not sure, but we'll find out more when I look at it. But it would be nice to look at the Pi recorder. I don't know whether they could record. I don't know whether the playback cartridge is any good, and I don't know whether the I have got a spare playback cartridge for a Calaro. I've got a complete Calaro deck if I need it, the same type, so no problem with that. Yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with that. It's actually nice and it's running, it's dead quiet, but we're going to have to wait a few days before we can get a record on it, because like I say, the cartridge will be here hopefully Friday. my birthday on Thursday. I'm another year older almost. 56. Don't the years fly by, folks? Don't the years just wang by? They do, don't they? You know. Yeah, no sooner you're a fetus, you're a grown man, and an old one at that. Or a woman even. Still, mustn't grumble, must we? Make the best of it, I suppose. I enjoy life, actually. The capacitors inside are all very good because they're all new ones. Well, the electrolytics are, and the one across the treble control, sorry, the one across the bass control, that's a new one as well. I left one electrolytic in. It was an 8 microfarad rated at 200 volts, and I don't have one. So and it was right on the money, so I didn't change it because it was right on the money. It measured 8 point something microfarad, so it was right on the money. So I left it in. The other ones were a bit over. There was a loud hum on this when I got it, and that could have been a bad ground that was causing that. But the record player is now done. But what I did, I put it should have had 32. It should have had two 32s and a 16 in it. I put two 47s and a 22 in it. I could have put 32s in it, but I've got some 33s. But I thought, no, I won't bother. I may as well put them in it. It'll improve it if anything. I've actually got the instructions for that record player as well. Let me just quickly get them. I think it's the instructions. It's something along them lines. It was in it. It was under the lid. Let's just see how this idler's getting on. That's getting a bit better, that. It's getting a bit better. I think the white balance on that camera could do with being turned down. Because it looks a bit glary, doesn't it? On light things. But I'll have to have a play with the settings at some point. Right, this is the instructions, and they're probably the original bag as well. I say instructions, it's just a card really. I'll put my glasses on. See what it actually might even just be a warranty card. Important notice to register your guarantee. Oh, it's a guarantee card. Oh no. Here's Master's Voice instructions for operating and installing HMV model 2008A 4-speed portable automatic record reproducer for AC mains. Yes, it tells you all about that. How to change the voltages. I'm surprised they actually put that in there for the customer, because you have to take this off to get to it. So I'm surprised that they put that in there for the customer. Then you've got your basic controls there, and then it shows you your record deck. Turnover knob for pickup, and then there's his Master's Voice guarantee. And I bet if I read the guarantee only comes effective if the guarantee registration card is duly completed. Duly completed, eh? Valve guarantee. The valves were generally guaranteed for 3 months. Let's see how long they're guaranteeing them for. British Valve Manufacturers Association, which is BVA. The BVA valves used in this receiver. It's not a receiver, but that's what they've put. It must be a standard speech for everything. Are guaranteed by the manufacturers for a period of 3 months from the date of purchase. by the user, or the commencement of the period of hire purchase, or deferred terms. The guarantee is only given in respect of faulty workmanship and material, does not cover misuse or consequential damage. In other words, if you break the valve, yeah, claims under this guarantee will only be considered if the valve is returned to the valve manufacturer through a radio dealer, preferably the one from whom the set was purchased. To ensure proper examination, the right is reserved to break open the valve if necessary without obligation to return or replace it. Well, this is the date code on this, I think, is 58. Doesn't say when it was printed, it just says HNS 2563-58, so it's printed in England. And I don't know, let's see if there's a date anywhere, but no. Nothing there that says that indicates the date apart from the back there, but it's nice to get that with it, isn't it? You know, it's nice to have that with it, because I might even scan that in. I might make a scan of that, and then if I get another one, I've got another copy of it. Just print them out. I've got the 2 Chinese hats that go in here. They've got to be glued back in. Yeah, we're getting a bit of heat build up in here now, but that's not bad. That hums about normal. Yeah, let's turn that off now. There we go. No point in that chundering away to itself. There we go. Right, I'll put the motorboard screws in, probably in the morning, because I can't be bothered with it now. And who have we got there? Who have we got there? Oh, let's have a look. Somebody's come on, not seen them before by this and that. Robert Adam Johnson. Hi Andy, could you help me out with a Yamaha? Not really, I don't do mini disc mixers and things. It's a bit new for me. Won't read discs. Annoyingly used tap water on the laser head. Didn't have. Ooh, you're not supposed to put water on them, I don't think. Right, well, it sounds like you've trashed the laser. You don't need my help there if you answered your own question. You don't put water of any description on a laser head. You clean them, if you have to clean them, you clean them with IPA. I've got a portable mini disc, Sony mini disc in my drawer there, and I've owned it for about, I bought it in 2008 off eBay, so about 10 years. I've never cleaned the laser, and it's always worked. I've never cleaned it, and I've used it quite a lot. It's always worked. But yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think you've got a bit of a scrapper, because good luck getting the laser for it. You could look on eBay or one of the forums, but yeah, it's not one for me. I don't repair mini disc players and stuff. It's too modern for me, that. I mean, I'm into what you can see on the bench there. That's my kind of idea. That's my idea of electronics. But Anything really past 1980, well, the early mid 80s, I don't really bother with anything past there. Mini disc came out at the end of the 80s, didn't it? Mid 80s, late 80s. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, if you've used tap water on your laser, see if some of that tap water's run in, gone under. See, water won't evaporate. You never use water on anything like that. We don't use water on anything really. Not like that anyway. Not optical devices. But mini disc works in two ways. It records magnetically, I believe. Someone might correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it records magnetically, but reads optically. Hello Michael, how are you doing my friend? I've not seen you for a bit. Hope you're doing fine, Freckles, sir. Yeah. What's he saying now? Robert, what's Robert Adam Johnson saying? Oh, he was considered on using IPA, on any IPA, because it evaporates on itself. Well, that's true, but it also doesn't leave your laser pickup full of water either. You know, if you've cleaned that with water and water's got in there, there's nobody on the planet that's going to touch that, unless of course they've got a spare laser pickup and you'll pay for it. That's the problem. Yeah, I know, but it only has to be a little bit, doesn't it? You know, only has to be a little bit, Robert. I mean, oh no, I mean, you could have even pressed too hard when you cleaned it, and you could have knocked it out of focus. You know, it could be anything. I mean, yeah. Oh, it's good to hear that, Michael. Really good to hear. Yeah, absolutely. You know, but no, I wouldn't clean any device, any optical device. Certainly, optical devices with water. You know, in the same way I would never clean a video head drum with a cotton bud. A good way of de-tipping your video heads, ruining them. Yeah, seen that done many times where I've gone out to a job years ago. I think my heads are dirty, and no one ever admits to cleaning them with a cotton bud. Yet you see bits of cotton wool fibres stuck on what used to be the head. You know. Yeah, some of the things I've seen, you know, will make your hair fall out. Honestly, seen some right hack jobs. But yeah, cleaning a laser pickup of any description with water, I wouldn't do it. Even on a moistened cotton bud, I just wouldn't do it because of the risk of some of it contaminating. I mean, them laser pickups, they're very delicate things. You know, they're very delicate things, them laser pickups, and you know, mini discs are fully enclosed. You should never really have to clean a mini disc anyway, I don't think. I mean, I've never cleaned mine. Mine's in the drawer here. I can pull it out, put a disc in it, and it will play. Well, it would if the battery was charged up or it was plugged in. But I've never had to clean one. I think when you start getting problems with laser disc players playing or reading the disc, I think it's the end of the life of the laser. In a lot of cases with CD players it's the same thing. And Robert Cross has got his 1959, 1969 even, radio on at the moment. Are you listening to anything good, Robert? Or are you like the rest of us old fogies, tuned to Radio 2? Yeah, not that there's anything wrong with Radio 2. Yeah, but yeah, water and optical devices don't mix. Yeah, you should always clean with IPA and a cotton bud, a soft cotton bud if you're going to do it. But did they ever make a cleaning disc for mini discs? I don't think they did. I've never seen one. Does anybody know? That's an interesting question, isn't it? I've never seen a mini disc laser cleaner. I don't think they did, but mini disc record, they worked in two ways. They recorded magnetically, but then they played back using a laser to read it. Very weird arrangement, but it worked. You know, so I suppose they could go down in the fact where they could record, then not play back. I don't know whether that's possible. They can develop a fault where they could record and not play back. That's very true, Michael. Mini disc players are better than CD players. I mean, I've had many CD players, and just about most CD players were junk anyway. No matter how much or who made them, no matter how much they cost or who made them. I think most CD players were junk. CD player, compact disc really was a format that didn't really have to exist. You know, it wasn't really needed. We still had the good old-fashioned record, and it still worked just as well as it does today. The players were notoriously unreliable. You know, you couldn't just fix them yourself. Like a record player, you could change a belt, clean an idler, or you could change the cartridge or stylus, or even change the whole deck if you wanted and put another one in. But CD players you couldn't do any of that with. It was, you know, plus I didn't like the fact that the disc was sucked into the machine and you couldn't see it spinning or doing anything. You know, and I might be a bit of a numpty, but I like to see something going round. You know, at the end of the day, I like to see it doing what it was meant to do. I mean, some CD players were visible. You could see the disc spinning round, but you couldn't see much else because the laser was behind it. So you couldn't see anything. There's nothing to see apart from the disc spinning round. I think I seen one once that had mirrors in it, and you could see the disc. But you know, I've never been a big fan of them, and it didn't have to exist really. The only advantage that CD really had over vinyl was they were great for mobile discos. I mean, you know, you could carry more of them in smaller packages, and the equipment needed to play them could be smaller, so it could be lighter as well. But that was the only advantage really for me for them. But I mean, I've got my CD collection that I used to use for discos. It's under the bed. It's not been out for years, and it probably never will come out again. But I'll keep them because you never know. There are some pretty expensive discs. I've got an expensive disc collection in there. It was expensive when I got it. The #1 collection I bought it from a disco company. Well, that's it. I mean, at the end of the day, Robert, you know, I found that, you know, I found that CD was a waste of time from the day it came out for consumer use. It was all right for the mobile disco industry, for the radio industry. It was great for that, but for the consumer industry, it was just a white elephant, really. It didn't even last as long. I mean, does anybody even buy compact discs today? How many of my subscribers, anyone who's watching this, how many are you going to admit own up to actually buying them? Yeah, good evening, Matt. I'm good, thank you. I hope you're good too. No, don't worry about that, mate. You can come on anytime you want. You know, there isn't a late or an early time. As long as I'm live, you can come on anytime you want. Don't you worry about that. How many people actually still buy CDs? I can't think of anybody that still buys CDs. Well, no, Theo doesn't look. Have you ever bought a CD, Theo? I mean, I've never actually spoken to you in person, so I don't know whether you. I can normally speak to a person in person. If I speak to someone in person, I can normally work out whether they buy a CD, whether they've ever bought a CD or not. I've bought them because I used to do mobile discos, so yeah, I've bought them, bought loads of them. They're all under my bed in a big aluminium box. You know, and no one does, Michael. I can't think of anybody that buys compact discs, but people buy records. I mean, I loved it when compact discs came out because people were getting rid of their records and they were giving them to me. Everyone I knew, yeah, do you want these? Big boxes of records, you know, and I was still using them for discos at the time, so back in '94, 94, I started doing mobile discos, and I was using a linear. I had two sets of decks. I had a linear Super 70, Super Disco 70, and I had an NJD DM808, and I used to, while I was using one, the other one would be at home as a spare. And if I wanted to take one home, I used to leave them on site. If I wanted to take the one that was in use home, and I would give it a service, which I did regular, then I had the one for the following week, so I didn't have to rush. And you know, it was always handy having two of them units. And the DM808 was unpowered because I prefer unpowered decks. That way, if your amplifier destroys itself, you can just plug another amp in. I mean, you can anyway, but it saves a lot of messing about, having to explain to the landlord why your decks have just blown up. You know, it never happened to me. The Super 70 I had, that had a built-in amplifier, had a 70 watt mono amplifier in it. The NJD, when I bought it, had BSRs in it. I took them out, and a friend of mine cut me a new motorboard. We chopped out as much material as we needed to, so we could fit the new motorboard on the top, and we put a pair of Garrard SP25s in it, which was a good change, obviously. Oh, I'm a vinyl junkie, Robert, that's for sure, mate. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, we're all good, thank you, Matt. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you sat on here watching me, you've got to be good, I suppose. You know, but yeah, we had a good we had a good day at Goulburn on Sunday at the swap meet, which is where I picked up that victim that's on the bench. Speaking of which, I'm going to put that away. In fact, what I might as well do what I might as well do, pardon me, as it's in my head, I might as well, because I can't see this coming apart again. There's no need for it to come apart again, it's all been done. So, I mean, this has got all nice shiny screws and everything in it. And I think that this, while I'm talking, I might as well, I'm not changing cameras because all you'll see is the back of that lid. Basically, these screws are all nice and shiny, and when you put your screws in, don't put them in over tight. If you put them in over tight, you strip the what do you call it? You strip the thread in the wood, and you also, because these are cup washers, not cut but cup. They are cup washers. You run the risk of squashing the washer. These have got nice brass washers in it, and I think that it's either been redone. I don't think it's been redone. I just think it's a genuine original old record player. I mean, I wasn't impressed by the way the amplifier was done with just rivets bent over. That was a bit, I think that was a bit cheeky of HMV to do it that way. I think they should have. I think they should have at least gone the, oops, he's gone the extra expense and put nuts and bolts in. There we go. As soon as the screw stops, you don't have to swing on it. And a lot of people do, they swing on the screws and then they can't understand them why they've stripped the screw, or they've ruined the threads, or, you know, some people don't seem to comprehend. Yeah, actually, we've still got one of those cup washers stuck on there, so we'll get that, we'll see if we can move the arm out of the way a minute, get the deck to one side there, so we can get the screw in. Last thing we want to do is drop a screw that goes under the motor board. And we have to pull it back out, because I've got a few other things I want to show you. See, that goes down there, lovely. There we go, that's all you need. Two more screws to go, I think. Yeah, we've got one screw there, one cup washer, one washer and one screw in my hand. Now, putting this one in, need to turn the record player, because this one was a real pig to get out because of its location. Now can I? No, I can't do that. This was a real pig to get out because of where it's located. I think they expect you to I don't know what they expect you to do here. But there's the other screwdriver bit there. See if this bit fits the screw a bit better, because it's magnetic as well. If it does, will that fit? Will that pick it up? I'm more worried about it dropping the washer. Right. That's just what I didn't want to do. Right. Well, what we have to do here, I mean we can actually just take these 3 screws out here rather than take the whole motor board back out. We'll just take the screws out here. We can then lift the deck and lift this deck up out of the way. Then we can put the screw, get the cup washer back. Yeah, how about that, folks? You couldn't make it up, could you? I thought it was funny getting that radio up and going last night, that Toshiba, and it actually had a full set of batteries in it, and they were all perfect. They were all good batteries. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, yeah, that was brilliant. That was just so funny, because you know, there's certain things that you just can't make up. And look at that, that wobbles about a bit now, doesn't it? So let's lift it up gently. I mean, even the springs, there's no, oh, there's something left in there. Bit of an old clamp. Pick them cup washers up, wet your finger, just moisten your finger slightly. Know what we can do now. Then you can pick the washer up. I mean, this is really well made. See, the feet are even nut and bolted to the floor. Can you believe that? I mean, but this thing looks really nice inside. It doesn't look a day old. Looks like it was made yesterday. So, and I don't think these screws and washers are new. They could be, but I don't think they are. I think they're original. Get the cup washer. There we go. Get the last screw. And just move the mechanism. And in a minute we'll just drop the mechanism back in. Put the screws back in. I'm actually very pleased. I mean, the only downside about this is a shame that somebody else is going to have to own it, because I can't keep everything. I wish I was in a position where I could. There we go. I wish I was in a position where I could say, yeah, everything I buy I'm keeping, but I can't do that, which is unfortunate, because move the arm out the way, I can see that first spring then. Drop it onto the first spring, get the screw in. Let's turn that down a few turns if it will go, so as long as it's not cross-threaded. That's good enough. The second one, which is that one there. third one. Not quite in position there, so we'll lift that up. I might have to stand up to do this one. See if I can be lazy. Can I see the bottom of the screw? Yeah, I can. We're not. Let's get in here. There we are. I'll come back over to the chat in a minute. I'll just whiz these down. You're supposed to screw these down so they go all the way, but the springs go weak over the year, so I generally adjust them so that the deck sits level. Just trying to get springs for these is not very easy. There we go. Right. There we are. Right. So what we'll do, because that one's a bit closer down, it's going to hit the screw. Yeah, that's a bit weak because it takes the weight of the mechanism. I'll wind this one up a bit. And just feel all around it. That feels okay. That's good enough. And that's the HMV put back together. I won't put the clip back on the turntable yet because we've got to finish the idler off, which is tomorrow's job. Put that sandpaper there for a minute. Yeah, look at that, we've got a nice generous power lead on there. One thing I like is a nice long lead. There we go. I mean, look at the condition, needs a clean, but look at the condition of it. I mean, it's lovely. Got a nice heavy duty handle on the side. Pardon me. Put that towel on top of there for him. Let's keep going. Hello Chris, just noticed you there mate. Right. Hey. You're unusually around at 11. Oh well, no worries about that, mate. Don't worry about it. It's nice to see you on. Been working on a Marconi VTVM tonight, but now waiting for some capacitor. You have to wait for some. We're all waiting on stuff, aren't we, Chris? I'm waiting on a cartridge for that HMV. These have got two of my record players from Goldborn going anyway. They're both done. The Dansette and the HMV. That radio I bought with all the short waves on it. That's done. That wasn't really faulty. It was just put together incorrectly. Just that had somebody who didn't realise what they were doing inside it. Anyway, you know, it doesn't matter. We got that one sorted. We got that sorted. The Toshiba radio cassette, that's sorted. That was a good bargain. That Toshiba radio cassette cost me £2. The guy only wanted £1, but I give him £2. I had a £2 coin in my hand, so I just said, mate, have two. I couldn't be bothered faffing about it. It was worth it. Plus, it had a full set of batteries in there that I discovered last night. A full set of GP batteries that were working. So that weren't bad. You know, yeah, it'd be nice to, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring that other stuff in. I'll give you a quick look at that. Stuff I got off mic earlier, we'll see what it is. We'll see what it is. I know one of the items is an oscilloscope, and none of us are a stranger to oscilloscopes, are we? We all know what they are, but I'll bring them in and show you anyway. We'll plug them in and see what these things do, if anything. I mean, Mike hasn't used an oscilloscope for years, and oops. There we go. I haven't got a clue what this big thing is here with a big meter on the front. I think Mike said some sort of power supply, but I don't know, but we'll find out. Right. Yeah. I just noticed there's a whole row of voltage regulators on the back of that thing. Right. Yeah. Right, let's put this on here. Oh, I don't know what that is. Ooh. I mean, this has been in Mike's cellar for a long time, but I think the last time he used it, it worked. It's I think it's Telequip, I'm not sure. I think it's a Telequip scope. Let's have a look. Yeah, Telequipment. Yeah, so that's, you know what they say. Find out where the on off button is. That way we know where to turn it off quick. It's a bit dusty, a bit crusty, but it'll clean up. but it's not been damp or anything because all the brass, all the chrome work is all nice on it. But Mike's cellar's in good nick. Right. I'm just trying to figure out where the power button is. They're usually on the front somewhere. It's 2 channels anyway. I think Mike said it had, that they're the channel on and off buttons. Power could be at the power switch could be at the back. I'm only assuming it's at the front. Let's have a look. I'm only assuming it's at the front because that's where I expect to find it. But we're on 240 volts, which is what it's supposed to be. The trace rotation knob, there's a fuse, there's no power button. So I wonder if it just... I can't see there not being a power button. Let's just plug in. No, there's no lights on or anything, so we'll look and find the power button. The one on it somewhere has got to be. I'm just not spotting it. Unless, of course, this is no, that's no, that doesn't lock down. That's channel to turn the channel on and off. So where the hell's the power button on it? That's not it. That's just normal and invert. On, off, on. That's for the channel. Channel 1, channel 2 on and off. Yeah. You'd think somewhere there'd be on off button on it, wouldn't you? Yeah, folks, call me stupid, but is there something I'm not? Is there something I'm missing here? Power off. It's there. It's that bloody red one there. See what happens, eh, folks? Well, it did something. Beam locate, it doesn't show you the beam. There's something there. Might as well turn the brightness up. There we are. There we go. That's for adjusting that. That's for adjusting that. Well, we've got two traces on the screen. Fairly bright as well. Trace position, that works. That works. Yeah, that's. I'll just turn it round so we can all see. There we go. It all works. Seems to. Yeah. I need to put a test instrument onto it. I need to put something onto it to test it, but oh, and that puts a dot on the screen. That's probably, I'm not sure what that's for. There we go. And that's got some dirt in it. Yeah, some it has. Yeah, that needs a bit of a service, I dare say. But it's working. So that's that. Well, that's made the lines a bit better. I'll tell you what, look how bright the trace is on it. It's got a really good tube in it. I mean, that's really good. Yeah. We'll do some more extensive testing on that. Let's just get the power lead out of the way. I'll put that back in the hallway for now in a bit because I've got too much stuff lying around in here. And the power lead unplugs from the back of this pulls out as well. Yeah, and it can be run on different voltages. You can rotate the trace to get it absolutely straight, which I don't have to because it already is. But I mean, that's handy for doing really old radio gear. Let's see what this other thing is. This I think is a power supply. Transceiver power supply. 8 amps maximum. Oh, it's for a CB radio. It's a transceiver power supply. I mean, it's got a bit of a codge on the lead there, but hey. So it goes up to 25 volts. So what we'll do, we'll plug this in. Plug this in. We'll break out a test meter and see. It must have current limiting as well because it's got a current adjust knob. It's got a fuse there. On off. These wires down here, yeah, there, so you can clip onto things. Well, we'll disconnect those for the time being. I was going to say I will if I can undo them. There we go. We'll disconnect them for now. and we'll just use our meter. Turn it around so you can all have a look. Turn that on. Don't know whether this thing works. The current knob's a bit flaky. That knob's a bit flaky. So shall we see? We'll set it to 10. We'll set it to 10 volts. On its own meter, and we'll see what my meter says it is. Do you know something, folks? That is actually not bad. There we go. That's actually 11.3 volts, and I'm set dead on 10 volts. So let's go further up. We're on 20 volts and we're on 21, and it actually puts out 33 volts. So it goes over just. Yeah, 33 volts puts out. And it goes right down to nothing. 0.25 of a volt. And with the current limiter all the way down, it should do nothing. It doesn't, which is normal. And what's the maximum current? 8 amps. I mean, this is great. And that's 13.8 there, what you would normally use. Yeah, 10, 11, 12, 30, just slightly over on its own meter. Yeah. That's actually quite a good little supply, what I'll say. Look, it's massive, isn't it? But that's a good power supply. And we've got a fuse here, I've got a fuse down there. You know, I think that's a nice little tester. Nice little. I think that's a nice little power supply, to be honest. There's an LED in. Oh no, that could be a neon. Yeah, it could be another neon. But there's something in there. It could be an LED or a neon. But I don't know how old this thing is. So the voltage don't bleed off it quick enough. Oh, look at that. It's starting to fall now. It would if there was a load on it. There's no load on it, so, you know, pull the plug out. There we go. Yes. Voltage falls off it quick when there's a load on it. But yeah, that's a nice power supply. I mean, I'll give that a once over. I will put a new cable on it. There's outputs on the back as well. No heat on those transistors, which is good. So we'll have a look in there. So we'll tear this down one night and have a look. We'll do a tear down of it one night and have a look. And not doing it now, it's getting a bit late. yeah, we'll do a teardown of it one night and have a look and see what's there. Well, we've got an idea what's there. It's a power supply, isn't it? If I just shift the scope, oh, out of my way, and put that there. There we go. There we go. Put that wire over there out of the way. There we go. Right, what's on the... Yeah, it's yeah, it's it took a bit of finding the. No, it wasn't combined with the brightness. It was combined with something I can't remember. It was on the opposite side to the brightness, the power. But it could be a valve oscilloscope, Chris. Yeah, it could be. We'll find out because we'll do a teardown. We'll have a look. Yeah, that's a nice power supply, isn't it? I mean, you still got all your stuff in the car, Chris. Wow. Most of my stuff's repaired. The only thing that isn't is that record master or record master, how you want to say it. That's not been repaired yet, but it will be. Getting rid of old stuff, it was a total fail. Well, it weren't a complete fail, was it? Because I bought that waveform generator from you, and you donated one of your oscilloscopes to Jay. You know, so it wasn't really that bad. I mean, I don't know. How much of the stuff did you take home that you brought with you, Chris? You know. Yeah, plug-in. I could have actually plugged in my function generator there. In fact, I could even use that unit that I bought from Chris and plug that into it. That would have generated the signals to test that scope with, but not at this time of the night. Yeah, but it's a nice scope. It's I think Mike said it had an issue with one of the channels, but he couldn't remember because he said it was dual channel, which it is, and I think he said it had an issue, but I can't remember. We talked about that scope a long time ago, just after Mike retired, about what's going on for what? Mike retired about 18, nearly 20 years ago. So, you know, he talked about that scope then. I know you brought some radio. I know you bought some radios while you were there, Chris. I know you got some radios. You brought a couple of scopes back up with you. I mean, you know. You know, I didn't buy a lot of radios. I only bought a few because I bought two. I bought three. I've got that valve Philips one, which needs cabinet work and also needs the chassis looking at as well. That'll probably get used for spares if I don't get to it, but we'll have a look at it one night. Is it going to be a keeper? Yes, it is. What the scope? Are you on about the scope for you, or the power supply, or both? I will. Crikey, 17 oscilloscopes. Do you know at one time, Chris, you could get really good money for them, couldn't you? You know, I mean, I can remember when I couldn't afford one. In fact, I went through most of my electronic life most of my life in electronics. Without owning a scope, I've only owned one for the last what? The first one I bought was in 2004. The power supply, yeah, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it because the person who gave it me is a very, very, very good and valued friend, as all my friends are. But he could have sold that and got something for it, but he didn't. You know, so no, I'll be keeping it, I think. Yeah, I'll be keeping it because I don't do that. I mean, he could have done that. He could have sold it and got something for it, but I mean, at one time scopes. I mean, at one time scopes were so expensive, weren't they, Chris? I mean, they were that expensive. It wasn't even laughable, was it? It wasn't even funny. The first one I bought was a Scopex, which was a 10 megahertz thing. That Steve's got that. Well, he hasn't got it yet. It's in my bedroom, buried in my bedroom, and Steve will be taking that. And I bought that from a television engineer in Buxton, and it served me well. It still works okay. It's dual channel, still works okay. But that's going to Steve. I think I paid about 25-30 quid for it or something when I bought it, and I think I flogged it Steve for 15 quid or something stupid, something daft like that. I can't even remember if I flogged him. It might have even given me. I can't remember. Steve will know. I can't remember. But that nice new one I've got, as most of you know, that was a gift. That was a thank you gift, an appreciation gift, if you like, from another very good friend of mine round the corner. You know, I tend not to give away things that people give me. Record players, yeah, I get rid of those, but you know, but things like stuff like that power supply, I won't sell that because, well, it's something I can use, to be honest. It's you know, what I'll do, I'll probably replace the one I've got on the bench on the windowsill there, which overhangs a bit. Probably put that up there when I when I put a new power cable on it. You know, so yeah. Yeah, this one I've just got off mic as a tele-equipment. They were reputed to have been very good scopes. I mean, you know, they can't have been that bad. There's still plenty of them about and still working. And that one that I got off mic, that was kept in his cellar because that's where his workshop was. He's 84 or 85 or something now, Mike, and he doesn't go down there as much, and he doesn't. I don't think he'd used that scope in years. Because he told me that when he first retired, he says, I hadn't used it for a while. He says, I'm not really any use. You know, and it's ended up here. So, but I knew I was getting that scope years ago because he told me I could have it once he cleared his cellar out. And he brought it up today. I went and got it out of the car. I said to him, he said, telling me that him and his wife struggled to, because it weighs a bit if you're an old man, get it to carry it to his car. I said, you should have come for me, Mike. So you should have popped down for me, and because I hadn't had any bus fare. He should have popped down for me. I'd have put it all in the car and then come back. Anyway, we had a brew and a chat because, you know, like I say, you know, he's a very valued friend. And surprisingly enough, he came here because I phoned him up because I needed a TV engineer. I had a telly I got stuck on. So, and that was when he first came here. And he says, do you mind if I pop in every now and again? If I'm up here on a call, I says, no, call whenever you want. So he made it an habit of calling on a Thursday. And he called every Thursday for about 5-6 years or something, maybe a bit longer. Then changed it to a Tuesday. I can't remember why it got changed to a Tuesday. Yeah, I know you use a scope a lot, Chris, for the job that you do, you know, but not much for our radio stuff. No, we don't really do it, you know, because, you know, you might use it for peaking the detector or something, but, you know, I use it for peaking the detector of CBs and stuff like most people do. But that was the main reason why I bought that little meter from George, because I could actually put that on the bench, and I can do alignments with it, because using a digital meter to do alignments is a pain in the backside. There's nothing better than seeing a needle sweep across as you're adjusting your coils, your transformers and your aerial trimmers and stuff. You know, nice to see a meter, really, an analogue meter. And analogue meters never really went out of fashion, did they? I mean, they tried to get rid of them by bringing out digital meters, but digital meters have been around since the 70s. And everybody still fancies the feel and look of an analogue meter. I do, and I've got a few analogue meters, AVO meters. I've got one of them on the shelf for Steve as well, because I got 3 of them given off a friend of mine. He picked them up as scrap, believe it or not, and they all work. I got another one off Mildred which has got, I think it's got a dicky movement. It works when it wants, but I've got another movement to put in it. I've got another meter movement for it, so, because I've got a scrapper with a good movement. Yeah, I'm a bit lazy sometimes, Chris. I do it by ear. I tune into the weakest station I can find and peak it up until it comes up. Not the correct way to do it, and I'm sure someone's going to tell me that, but I already know that. But that's the way I do them sometimes. Depends on what mood I'm in. I will do an alignment video one day. I've done a few on CBs, but so has Richard from UK CB Servicing, and a few of the other lads have. You know, we've all done that, but I will do an alignment on a radio one day. But yeah, I'm really happy with that power supply. As I say, when me and Mike brought the stuff in, we just put it in the bedroom doorway. I suspected it was a power supply, but I wasn't quite sure, because I didn't really ask Mike what it was, because he just said you may as well have that as well, like, you know. So I brought that for you. He brought me a bag of leads, scope leads and stuff. I've not gone through that yet. Need to go through that at some point. I can't even remember where I've put them. They're in here somewhere. Oh, I think I've dropped them. Where did I put them? Might have put them back in the bag that they came in. Can't remember. I fell asleep earlier. And you know what it's like when you fall asleep. I fell asleep in my chair after my tea. You know what it's like when you fall asleep. You know, and then you wake up and you can't remember anything. Yeah, I think of, correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, have I seen you use that unit for CB radio? I'm sure I have. I'm sure I've seen you use it for CB radio, that communication analyzer. I'm sure because you were dabbling with CB radios that you got from Cruncher, I think, a while back, and I'm sure you used that instrument to analyse them or something. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure you did, but I can't remember. I'd have to look at your video. But you know, I've seen a lot of the stuff because I watch your videos. I've seen a lot of the stuff that you've got because you get to it all at some point. I mean, you know, I used to know people years ago. I knew one guy years ago who used to buy stuff just to have it on his workbench, never used it. Yeah, yeah, you should get back, you should do some CBs. I mean, you know, I mean, yeah, I like messing with CBs. I never used to, you know, because I never had the equipment to do them. But, you know, now I've got the equipment, you know, for 5 years I worked as a cleaner for 5 years until 2017, I think it was, when I lost my job. And what I did in that time, because I thought, well, I might not be employed forever. Yeah, I know you do repair test instruments, I know, Chris, because I've heard you mention it a few times that you like to work on test equipment. What was I going to say? Yeah, you know, I bought a lot of stuff when I was working. I bought them Peak test instruments that I like to brag on about, that I like to, well, not brag, I like to mention every time I use them. And you know, the company who make them, they really are a good company to deal with. I bought those. I bought my function generator. I bought me Unity test bench meter. And I bought my Raycal frequency counter. That Raycal frequency counter, that was 40 quid off a friend of mine. Yeah, they're brilliant, them peak meters, aren't they? They're really good meters. And the people who make them are only in Buxton, not far from, but a few miles away from me, as you know. And I've actually spoke with them on the phone and dealt with them, because they sent. I put an order in for me instruments and said they sent me too many. So me being an honest guy, I phoned them up and explained this to them. Yes, Raycal do make nice counters. You know, they do when you can get them for like 40 quid, like, you know, because they were, you know, you wouldn't have got them for that back in the day. And it's a full 8-digit counter as well. And I bought that from a friend of mine who lives up the road from me. He had two. He had one that we used Nixie tubes. I didn't fancy that. I brought that one home, and it wasn't working too well. I couldn't get much out of it. So, but he did say, you know, if he did say, he says, I don't know how you use them. He says, and basically, although he's a radio ham, he doesn't dabble in that side of it. And he said, I've not tested them. He says, if that doesn't work, he says, come back, I'll give you the other one. He said, because I know at least one of them works anyway. So I took that back, and he gave me the Raycal one, and it's been good. You know, worth 40 quid of anybody's money, really. I mean, you know, it's it does the job, more than does the job. All I use it for really is CBs. I mean, you can probe other things and look at the crystal. You can probe you can probe crystals and look at the frequency of the crystals putting out, stuff like that with it, but I never do unless there's a problem in the area, like if I'm doing a CB, if there's a problem with the PLL, then if I'm getting no VCO voltage or something, then I'll check to see if the reference crystal, see if the reference oscillator is running, see if the crystal, see what the frequency is at the crystal, and check around the chip and stuff like that. But most of the time I just hang it over the back of a dummy load and key the mic up and look at the frequency and just set it. That's all I really use it for. You know, but it's way capable of more than what I use it for, obviously. But yeah, that's pretty much all I use it for, just doing them little bits. But it's handy to have. I mean, years ago, you're saying you don't have a good counter, but have them built, but have built them into some of the gear that you have. You mainly use an old Black Star counter. You know, I've never seen a Black Star counter. But if you use it, obviously can't be too bad. But yeah, if it does the job, Chris, then stick with it, isn't it? Really, you know, if it gets the job done, then yeah, why change it? I mean, yeah. I'm going to have to shoot off in a minute, and because I can feel my eyes getting heavy. I can't think where I put that bag of leads that was with that stuff. Oh, the bags though, it's down there. I found it. It's down there. There was a bag of powdered cement in that bag as well. I don't know what he brought that for. A small bag with some cement in it. Never mind. But I couldn't believe it. I'm still laughing over last night when I turned that Toshiba on. It had a full set of batteries in it. Couldn't believe it. You can't make it up, can you? You know. And that shortwave radio, that working, that multi-band radio, it's got 5 shortwaves on it and they all work. I mean, the band, it's got a turret band switch in it, and it is a bit flaky. I've sprayed it, but it's still a bit flaky because it's just contacts hitting contacts, and they're obviously a little bit bent out of shape and shit like that. But it works. Right, good night, Chris. He's off to bed now. Good night, Chris, and have sweet dreams and a good night's sleep, and have a good day tomorrow. And I'm not sure what my day is going to be like tomorrow. I'm going to see my brother who's got terminal lung cancer, and I heard from a friend of mine that he was a bit incoherent tonight when he spoke to him. So I don't know what to expect when I get there, but my mate's coming for me tomorrow to run me down there. And yeah, Scraps is asleep on the sofa. He's waiting for me, and he's chocky bicky before bed. He likes a chocky bicky, does Scraps. Yeah, I'll catch you later, Chris. I'll catch you later, Theo. I'll catch all of you later. I'm just gonna finish a few things that I want to just do with the PC before I go, and then I'm gonna get myself off as well, and get some shut eye. And I want to get up early in the morning because I want to wash my togs. I can't be arsed doing them now. Besides, not fair pour a washer on at this time of night. I get up about 7 or 8 in the morning and wash my togs, and I'll have a shower and whatnot, and get down there, and you all take it easy, and I'll catch us all later, folks, and thank you very much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed and you like what you see, then go ahead, feel free. You don't need a personal invitation, it's just something you can do. If you want to be notified, then click the bell and you'll get notified when I'm about. Then you can put your hat and coat on quick and bog off out. You all take it easy, folks, and I'll join me again for the next one. Bye for now, folks.